Salam alaikum, everyone. So guys, we're seeing Bitcoin actually crashing right now. Well, I mean, if you zoom out, it's not that bad, but let's speak as to what is happening and what is the reason behind this. And let's just jump straight into the content. Let's take a look at what has happened and let's try to deduce what is the reasoning here and whether we should trust this downside move and whether it's going to continue. So, and there is an explanation for everything, as always. So, first things first, what I wanted to discuss, something that is actually very positive. As mentioned in my previous video, if you haven't seen it, please do check it out. And as always, subscribe and hit that notification bell and call me Mr. Spot on down in the comments, because we're explaining here everything on the daily freaking basis. So, a really useful place to be. And certainly join my free Discord channel, link down in the description, where I post all of my trades and all the updates, etc. So, our expectation for PPI was 2.4 and it came in at 2.3. So that's actually good. And look, the reduction in PPI, this is pretty good. I mean, CPI and PCE is still very hot, but PPI at least, so it is something good. And yesterday we also, the day before, we saw CPI come out, which came in a little bit better than expected, which still is elevated, but so at least some positiveness. Now the next thing, which is not so good, but only for traditional markets, and that is the unemployment. Look, the initial jobless claims, and these are going up tremendously. I mean, the forecast was 245, it came in at 265. So as you can see, 240, 245, 230, 264. So are we gonna see a spike in unemployment and a recession to come like so many have predicted this summer? Well, this is starting to look like it. And again, a lot of people are saying that this should benefit Bitcoin because of the collapse of the banking system and the distrust in the current system. And a lot of people moving their money from the banks to Bitcoin. Some people are saying that Bitcoin is still too small and it's going to still be correlated with S&P 500 and the stocks. So it's going to all come down together. We'll see about that. So this is kind of neutral at this point for us. But what is also quite positive for Bitcoin is that PacVest, well, this is another bank that is failing, its shares tumbled as crisis prompts customers to yank deposits. So basically, I mean, this is just another victim of the banking collapse. So this is what we have to pay attention to right now, and it's not good. But remember, every time when the bank failed previously, we saw a pump in Bitcoin, and now we're actually seeing a dump that is bigger than the dump in S&P 500. S&P 500 actually in the short-term perspective is actually going up. So what the hell is happening? So let's take a look at this piece right here, which, before we actually come to the actual real explanation as to what is happening. SEC was slammed by U.S. Chamber of Commerce for regulatory approach to cryptocurrencies in the Coinbase filing. So even the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, again, they don't have control over SEC, but nonetheless, they're voicing their concerns and they're actually going after SEC. The Securities and Exchange Commission is facing criticism from the United States Chamber of Commerce over its lack of clarity regarding which digital assets are securities under the federal law. So SEC is actually starting to lose support even from its own government, from US. Again, this is just what we really want to see. So this is very, very positive. And as soon as SEC completely loses, for example, to XRP, this is going to be monumental for the crypto space, which like right now looks like a very good possibility. So then again, the question is the same. Why are we actually dumping? And the answer is right here. And just guys, you have to hear me out. And then I'm going to tell you what am I doing with my long trade, which, well, I'm going to tell you in just a second. So, and before I do, remember guys that I'm personally trading on Bybit, and with my exclusive link down in the description of this video, you can actually claim up to $30,000 in initial deposit bonuses. But besides this, what you can do is you can claim up to like $60 for actually up to $300 for a very limited time for doing a KYC, because Bybit went to mandatory KYC and every single exchange will do it sooner or later. So there is no escaping this. There is certainly also down in the description, there is a link to Bitflex that doesn't have KYC, but they're really small, and I would still trust more Bybit. But if you really cannot do the KYC, then you can join Bitflex, and there is up to $2,000 in initial deposit bonuses with my exclusive link to Bitflex down in the description of this video. But Bybit right now is doing up to $300 bonus for those who actually do the KYC, and I would suggest you do it immediately because I'm fully KYC. So now let's talk about what is happening, what reason why Bitcoin is actually tumbling. So there's two reasons. Reason number one is right here. So markets are actually right now very twitchy as the debt ceiling is actually approaching. And why? I mean, of course, S&P 500 isn't dropping, so why is Bitcoin? And as there is this wide belief that Bitcoin is actually much more forward-looking than, for example, S&P 500, and why that is because Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies right now are deemed the highest risk. So whatever is the highest risk, and we're potentially seeing a bad moment approaching, this is what is going to be sold off the first. So that's why Bitcoin is the most forward-looking asset as of right now. And this is the fundamental reason, just pure fear in the market that is driving this downside momentum. But again, guys, remember that in my opinion, that this is going to fade away because US will increase the debt ceiling. I mean, in the coming 2.5, they still have like 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, and trust me, they will increase it. So therefore, this narrative will be destroyed. Certainly, there is some fears right now, but I think we're gonna get over it. So for this reason, and the reason actually number two for this down move, and let me explain it in just a second. For this reason, I actually still have my long trade open, and I just scaled it to 11 Bitcoin. So as promised, I added a little bit at 26,000 something. So right now it's a $300,000 long trade. And I firmly believe that right now our target is setting at 25,000. So at 25K, I will add some more to this long. Again, not financial advice. I could be totally wrong. This could be the beginning of the end, whatever. So I could be also misreading the market. I'm Mr. Spot On. We're making good money here, but I'm not always right. So do your own research. And this certainly is not financial advice. But this is where at 25K, I will add more to my long trade. And the reason why, so the second reason what is propelling this downside move is purely technical. So we have this wedge that we've been talking about for so long. We were fighting it right here. We had a lot of volume here. I was hoping that we're actually going to move to the upside. But unfortunately, we actually managed to break to the downside. And there was a bit of volume, but nothing spectacular. And this just opened the road to $25,000 as of now. So that's why I added a little bit here. And I'm going to add a bit more to my long trade right here just to get this average entry price lower. And the reason is quite simple. Once again, that this kind of a downside move actually of this whole wedge, and then you could be saying, you know, a shoulder, head, shoulder, whatever also, you know. So the target for it is actually like 23,300. So it's actually 25, and then the next target would be 23. So for me, I want to add a bit here, but I don't really believe we're going to be meeting the target of 23, depending on what's going to happen. Because again, I think that we still have a couple of weeks for this fear to be in the market, but it's gonna be priced in at some point. So I'm really thinking that building the long trade here, which actually is going to, if we're gonna go to a bigger time frame, which is gonna simply play into this whole up move in general. So this is my current play, this is my current understanding, and we're seeing a lot of positiveness in the sentiment right now, except for this stupid debt ceiling, which is going to be resolved. So that's my understanding of it. This is just my technical points for entries and accumulation for this long trade, and I don't believe in the continuation of the downside move. I could be wrong. Tell me what do you guys think down in the comments if you think I'm crazy. And check out this quick tutorial as to how to trade Bitcoin with proper risk and money management and proper strategies. And I promise, even if you know how to trade or you think you know how to trade, you will learn a lot from here. And as always, peace and love. Thomas Crawler, stay smart, stay rich, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.